What's up, y'all? Happy New Year.
Beat the block up, free my partner. Speak with
Happy New Year.
Posture, a seasoned scholar. I keep proper demon stalker. Eat the chopper. He leaking lava, need a doctor. Keep your chakra. I see the Father staying holy, staying lowly. Can't control me, favor on me. Hating on
What's up, y'all?
Fake and phony, load the bases. I'm going places. I'm closing cases, poker faces. No folding, flaking. Jehovah said the young, crazy, rowdy Clayton County resident. I've been places you never went. I got cousins who spin the block and make the chopper stutter like a speaking impediment. Say the homie, the reason you buy a bull is probably cause you ain't reading the testament. It would lessen your lessons unless sin is just your element. That's elementary like elemental beat. I could go from show to show and toe to pole as long as totem pose if you want it. I'd rather show us all to the scrolls that Jehovah spoke. When he wrote it, I'm floating, I've been having. I got killer serving life sentences hitting me. You know the bar's real when they give him my penitentiary in the penitentiary. Don't forget to mention me, they call me the Big 450.
Thank you so much.
Hit my target, the flow up and down like
Katie, what's up?
The way my body covered in the blood, I'm just praying a crypto market. This gon' spark it. Get your guard up, cause I'm darting at any, mini, mighty picker artist. They say how he get metaphors and deliveries.
Oh, what's up, Forrest? North Carolina, I ain't seen you in a minute.
The delivered he from all of this in him. Monty a proven prodigy for nothing. I grew a colony, a true monopoly. For demons to choose to follow me, the bullets start flying. Something like Deuteronomy. Gas, gunning, trash, dumping, fetch, pumping, cap. Crushing the industry, then try to beat me.
The artist is J. Monty.
See me now, couldn't beat my child, they evil fat, they wonder how
J. Monty, M-O-N-T-Y.
Hey, I'm a certified speaker knocker. I can
Happy
make
New
you
Year.
Hey, label heads sending frequent offers, but I promise I don't need your dog. Most of these rappers just acting on the internet and they need an Oscar. Without the way
Happy New Year. It's a wild Mexican game, so that's funny.
When I beat the block up, free my partner. Speak with honor, beat the posture. A seasoned scholar. I keep proper demon stalker. Eat the chopper. He leaking lava, need a doctor. Keep your chakra. I see the Father stand.
He said you need a doctor. Keep your chakra. He said favor on me, they hating on me.
No folding, flaking. Jehovah said the young, crazy, rowdy
Happy New Year, y'all. Happy New Year, y'all. I'll play it one more time. It's 2 minutes. Play one more time. One more time. One more time. That's J. Monty. J.M-O-N-T-Y.
Speak with honor, beat the posture. A seasoned scholar. I keep proper demon stalker. Eat the chopper.
Kenya, what's up?
Need a doctor.
Neat, what's up?
I see the Father staying holy, staying lowly. Can't control me, favor on me. Hating on me. Fake and phony, low.
The New Year's in the springtime.
I'm closing cases, poker faces. No folding, flaking. Jehovah said the young, crazy, rowdy Clayton County resident. I've been places you never went. I got cousins who spin the block and make the chopper stutter like a speaking impediment. Say the homie, the reason you buy a bull is probably cause you ain't reading the testament. It would lessen your lessons unless sin is just your element. That's elementary like elemental beat. I could go from show to show and toe to pole as long as totem pose if you want it. I'd rather show us all to the scrolls that Jehovah spoke. When he wrote it, I'm floating, I've been having. I got killer serving life sentences hitting me. You know the bar's real when they give him my penitentiary in the penitentiary. Make your list, but don't forget to mention me. They call me the Big 450. Cause when I spit, I hit my target. The flow up and down like crypto market. The way my body covered in the blood, I'm just praying a crypto market. This gon' spark it. Get your guard up, cause I'm darting at any, mini, mighty picker artist. They say how he get metaphors and deliveries with all of the synonyms. It's cause one day he metaphors the delivered he from all of the synonym. Monty a proven prodigy for nothing. I grew a colony, a true monopoly. For demons to choose to follow me, the bullets start flying. Something like Deuteronomy. Gas, gunning, trash, dumping, fetch, pumping, cap. Crushing the industry, then tried to beat me down. Man, I wish my dog could see me now. Couldn't beat my child, they evil fat. They wonder how I even smile. I slept on the floor, they slept on my floor. Guess we even now. Hey, I'm a certified speaker knocker. I can make you delete your roster. Hey, label heads sending frequent offers, but I promise I don't need your dog. Most of these rappers just acting on the internet and they need an Oscar. Without the web, you Peter Parker. I make demons flee and holler when I beat the block up. Free my partner. Speak with honor, beat the posture. A seasoned scholar. I keep proper demon stalker. Eat the chopper. He leaking lava, need a doctor. Keep your chakra. I see the Father staying holy, staying lowly. Can't control me, favor on me. Hating on me. Fake and phony, load the bases. I'm going places. I'm closing cases, poker faces. No folding, flaking. Jehovah said the young, crazy, rowdy Clayton County resident.
That was J Monty, Beat the Block Up. J Monty is very talented. You like that song, you listen to the lyrics, he on that thing spitting. He said, I don't want to get the verse messed up. He talked about totem poles. He said, but I'd rather show the souls to the word that Jehovah, I'd rather show the scrolls that Jehovah wrote. Something, just a wordplay is crazy. I'd rather show a soul to the scrolls that Jehovah spoke when they wrote it. It's something like his wordplay is immaculate. And you know it's all for the glory of God. You all can't see it on YouTube, but I have Gangsta Boo here, and they said she overdosed on fentanyl. Now I want you all to see how they play a game with you. And they told you that George Floyd didn't die of fentanyl, but everybody since him then died from fentanyl. They told you that George Floyd didn't die for fentanyl, and he had 11 times the lethal dose of fentanyl. He didn't die from fentanyl, but everybody else since George Floyd has died from fentanyl. So in 2023, we have 7 years to 2030. Now these 7 years are, what's up, King Tabernacle? These 7 years are our tribulation. Klaus Schwab and them said by 2030, you're going to own nothing and be happy. So that's 7 years from now. So the Bible talks about the 7 years tribulation, 3.5 years with 2 witnesses, and then 3.5 years with the Antichrist going crazy. So this is our 7 years, because to get us to own nothing and be happy is going to be a very extreme process. So this is our tribulation right now. So I think we should approach it like it is the tribulation. But we got Gangsta Boo here, and they said that she passed away over a drug overdose, and guess what it was? Look how they slap you in the face. They said Gangsta Boo overdosed from, you guessed it, fentanyl. Now, what these folks are doing should be obvious by now. We're going to look into some of the families behind the people that we see out in front, people behind the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, folks behind Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab. Who are the folks really pulling the strings, and who could possibly be the bloodline of Satan? Remember we talked about Satan having a seed or a bloodline on this planet. Okay, I'll check it in my DMs. I'll check it. That's right. The next Peter pandemic is scheduled for 2025. So a lot of folks are expiring now and will be for the next few years because of what they chose to do. Now, people can act naive now, but it's going to get to a point where it's not only going to be obvious, but they're going to get on TV and tell you. So this is going to cause mass hysteria, mass confusion. On top of that, them trying to usher in climate change. On top of that, them taking away the money. On top of that, doing all these things. So I was on Cha Mystique's podcast on, I think, Thursday, and I ordered this book. You all maybe should order it. It's the Universal Declaration of Human Rights from the United Nations. It's a very small book. But anyway, if we get to she pointed out Article 19, everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. So we see that what these social media companies are doing is a human rights violation, because what they're doing is they're censoring people based on their opinions, but it is a human right for a person to have an opinion. Matter of fact, when I was coming, they used to always say opinions are like a-holes, everybody has one. Now your opinions seem to be threatening to the powers that be. So these social media companies, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Metaverse, Twitter, all these places, these social media platforms, Article 19 of the Declaration of Human Rights, Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. So I want to look up what frontiers actually means, but I don't know if it's maybe it's like new frontier. I don't know. Let me look it up so I can get more context. I understand what a frontier is, but let me see. I don't know, Frontier Airlines. Let me see. So, I just want to get context to it. That's all. Okay, let me see something real quick. Okay, let's get a definition. A line or border separating two countries. Okay. The extreme limit of settled land beyond which lies wilderness, especially referring to the western U.S. before the Pacific settlement. So, frontiers mean a line or border separating two countries. So, not only can we be censored on these social media platforms, but also they can't even stop from going to other countries. So what they're doing are human rights violations for a reason, because that's what's really under attack is human rights. Black folks fought for civil rights, which actually means pretty much nothing. But human rights are what they're after. You know, they got everybody distracted with civil rights and all this foolishness. You know, they say trans rights and they got black people rights and all this stuff. But truly, what it is the fight against humanity. But Gangsta Boo is no longer with us. It's possible that she could have had got the poke, got the smokes, snake bite, or it could have really been an overdose. Either way, a lot of folks are going to be checking out, and I want us to be prepared, and I want us to be ready, and I want us to treat these next 7 years like it is a tribulation. That means we got to be at our best. We got to make the best moves. We have to be disciplined. We have to be faithful, courageous. We have to be in the word. We have to be relentless. We got to be everything that God wants us to be. And guess what? If 2030 comes and it doesn't happen, then how did we lose? We're better than we were in 2023. So what difference do it make? But I'm going to go to some of these videos right now. And now, when we talk about this money, they're making the money digital. And remember, the Bible says that men will become lovers of themselves. Now, how they're getting the money is they're making the money be attached to your physical body. This is the goal. This is the goal, for the money to be attached to you. Meaning, if you don't cooperate, you won't be able to spend the money. So, and all of this is a push towards, obviously, climate change. Now, some women were upset because, I'm talking about black women. And what you got to understand is that if we look at it from a practical sense, Eve brought the destruction upon the world. Not that it was all on Eve, but Eve literally brought the destruction on the world because she's the one that first ate the fruit, and she ate it because she wanted to be like God. So, again, Satan, the enemy, the devil, whatever you want to call him, he went to Eve. Satan is not going to change his tricks. Satan is not going to change who he is or what he does. So in the beginning, he went to the woman, and right now he's going to the woman. Let me get more specific and Pacific. In the beginning, he went to the woman of color, and then now he's still going to the woman of color. Let me get more specific. In the beginning, he went to the original woman, and now all these years later, he's going back to the original woman. So when I say these things, it's not you ought to take it personal, because it's not personal. Just the devil's going to use black women to usher this stuff in. And I don't understand why that's so triggering for so many women, but at the end of the day, this is what it is. Now, my question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to be an example of what a wife should be? Are you going to embody what a woman of God should be? Are you going to be a Proverbs 31 woman? Or are you just going to get upset with what I'm saying and go out there and be in the streets? The choice is yours. But the devil isn't going to change any of his tricks. So the Bible says that the love of money is the root of all evil, and that men will be lovers of themselves. So I want you to combine those two verses. I want you to combine those two verses, and then you will have the secret. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 2 says that for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. So now imagine all this decadence and the money is attached to you. Imagine all this decadence and imagine the money being attached to you. So that means you're going to have to love yourself, quote unquote, to be able to spend the money. What's up, Liddy? You're going to have to be able to love yourself in order to spend the money, because the money going to be connected to you. This digital currency is designed to be connected with your DNA, your biometrics. So essentially, not only will the love of money be the root of all evil, but now, since they're going to make you the money, you're going to be the root of all evil. This is how we get into the mark of the beast territory. I'm going to say it one more time. The love of money is the root of all evil. If they make you the money, meaning they attach your physical being, your DNA to the money, then that means that you will be the money. And therefore, the loving of yourself will lead to evil, death, destruction, and damnation. So you will become yourself the root to all evil. But I say this, all this stuff in context, because I want people to be able to see this for what it is. Now, we know that now, from now on, things are about to ramp up and get real serious. So now's not a time for you all to get emotional. I'm seeing people now already emotional over the Meg Thee Stallion case in Tory Lanez. You should not be emotional over that. You should not be emotional over what these folks put in front of you, because it's designed as a purpose. Every lie they tell us is used to get our consent. So when people lie to you, they're lying to you. If you don't check them on the lie, that means you agree with them. That's why when a person lies to you one time, you don't say nothing, they keep lying to you because they got consent. So these powers that be, when they lie to you, you have to say, I reject the lie. I don't agree with it. Matter of fact, we used to say the devil is a lie, but that stopped once the Peter pandemic came. You know, the folks used to be bold in their faith and they would say the devil is a lie, not anymore. I think we should get back to saying that, because the reason why you say the devil is a lie is because you denounce what the devil is saying and trying to do. If you don't denounce it, it means you consent to it. So when these folks get on these platforms and lie to us, all we got to do is say, you know what? We reject it. We ain't got to talk about it. We reject it. Hold on one second. Kulheem did a live today that was excellent, and he basically said, in a nutshell, you all were trying to sum up a whole year in one day. And I wish I had to put my matter of fact, I can put some up here. Hold on. Because I made some pictures of them. Hold on. I made some pictures. Kulheem said, so he talked about having a weak year. You know, you had a weak year, and now you think you about to go into the new year with these resolutions, thinking that you about to change your life. And we all know that's not how it works. You can't not plant in 2022 and expect to reap a harvest in 2023. That's insanity. But this is what most folks do, because the devil tells them, you ain't got to plant, you ain't got to prepare, just expect a harvest. The next year you're going to get it. Now, you know, if you didn't plant, anything in 2022 and you go to that field and you got a whole bunch of crops, you know it's a setup. If you didn't plant anything in 2022, and you go to your field and it's full of crops, you know it's a setup. Now, the heathens will say, oh, it's from God. But we know that God doesn't operate like that. We know God doesn't operate like that. You know, God, operates off of, like a farmer, seed time and harvest, So, yeah. So, if you go to collect your crops and you got crops on the field and you didn't plant it, you know it's a setup. So many people are going to be going 2023 expecting a harvest, but guess what? They're going to get the harvest. The only problem is you're going to get the harvest that Satan has waiting for you. And Kulheem mentioned you had a weak year, and I put you had a weak year, not a leap year. You had a weak year. He said God says the meek shall inherit the earth, but Satan says the weak shall inherit the earth. You think about it, everything they're doing is to make the average man and woman weak. Everything they're doing is just putting all this pressure on people to make you weak and really make you not turn to God. And I believe from now on, we should be turning to God. Even Mimi says right here, it's time to look at everything as a distraction 2023. Exactly. Because we know that each year is closer to 2030. So we got to realize that everything, at least from now on, is going to be a distraction, because 2030 says you're going to own nothing and be happy. You're going to be a slave and be happy to be a slave. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We listen. 2023 and Gangsta Boo is gone. Now, do you think Gangsta Boo woke up on December 31st, ready to have a great night? Do you think she woke up thinking she was going to be dead the next day? She didn't. The Bible talks about this thing coming like a thief in the night when you unprepared. You think when God returns, folks going to be ready? You think when the Messiah returns, you think folks going to be sitting there waiting? Man, folks going to be indulging in their most decadent behavior. Like a thief in the night. Ain't touched the Bible all year, but you the chosen. That's what I said. You ain't touched the Bible. And again, these comments are from Kulheem's live. But he was talking about folks ain't read the Bible all year, talking about what they're going to do 2023. You ain't laid no foundation. You have not planted any seeds. So you're not going to reap a harvest. If you do reap a harvest, it's going to be that of Satan. It's going to be evil, wicked, and destructive. So again, we can't get caught up on what these folks put in the TV. I worked in the industry for years. I'm telling you, everything they show you is scripted. Reality TV. I remember somebody put a video up of Kim Kardashian and her sister fighting. Oh, listen to me. Kim Kardashian and her sister fighting was probably shot 10 times. And they took the best one. You watch reality TV, that stuff gets shot over and over again. Do it again. Do it like it's all fake. It's not real. They're not going to put nothing real on TV. But if you have discernment and you listen, they're going to tell you the truth because they have to. It's your job to be as wise as a serpent, but as harmless as a dove. You ain't touched the Bible all year, but you the chosen people. Look how the enemy works. The enemy had black folks ride on their high horse saying they was the original Jews and the chosen people. And ask me how many of them folks changed their life. Ask me how many of them folks got closer to God. Ask me how many of them folks get their life to God. Ask me how many of them folks, talking about they was the chosen people, actually submitted to God. The enemy is clever. Very clever. Enemy said, I'm going to show y'all the truth. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave out all the instructions. It's no different than somebody giving you something. Say it's a car. They give you a car. And the car, you don't have any keys. You don't know what to do with the car. You don't know if it's touchscreen for the door handle. You don't know how to make it start. Is it voice command? They just give you a car. But listen now, you bragging about the car because the car looks good. Nobody else has it. Or you stunting with the car. You taking pictures in front of it. You stunting. But guess what? You still can't drive it. It's useless to you. You being a chosen person and not having any character is useless. This is why the chosen people choose God. God tried to go that chosen people route. It didn't work. Because when the Messiah came, y'all destroyed the contract by killing the Messiah. Y'all did it. So ain't no more you ain't chosen no more. God had a verbal contract covenant with the people. Y'all killed the word in the flesh, so y'all voided the contract. Y'all voided it. So then God said, well, if y'all voided it, it go to everybody now. Y'all did that. So y'all can hang on this chosen people stuff if you want to. But I'm going to tell you again, the chosen people choose God. Thank you, Sneakerhead. So we're going to play this video real quick of this new digital system and how, and basically, I'll let it play.
Ah, 2022 is almost over, and we are so close to shutting down Infowars.com.
Aman Jabi has worked in Silicon Valley for 28 years. His background includes work on deep technologies that are involved in the new digital prison system being designed by big tech. In 2020, he moved to Montana and became a whistleblower, warning the public of the very real threat about to be unleashed upon us all, known by many as the Mark of the Beast system. Aman explains how accepting the digital ID is the basic premise behind it all.
So by default, a digital identity implies that you are always in a digital prison. Since you have a digital identity and you're in a prison, you are by default a criminal. So we don't trust you.
Just like the old system, this new one is also voluntary. And you are supposed to know that it's a digital prison that you are voluntarily signing up for. And the reason for this is because in this new system, having a digital ID will be proof that you are a criminal. Because having a digital ID means that you are in a digital prison. And because you accepted it, you must be a criminal. Because of this, there is a new protocol being introduced with this system, known as zero trust.
How is zero trust going to be used? Here's a lady, she wants to go and buy some beef, but let's say her carbon footprint or her beef footprint for the month has been exceeded. That door won't open.
This digital prison is sneaking up on us all. There is no need for an implanted chip because everything is being done with facial recognition, which is already plugged into the entire system. America already has more cameras per capita than communist China, and our social credit score is already being logged. All we need at this point is a series of events that lead us all into having to make the choice of either accepting the new digital ID or saying no. Since the COVID lockdowns, new state-of-the-art LED lights have been replacing street lights in cities throughout the West. Aman explains that this is all part of the plan. These lights will be connected to everything, including your phone and your car. And in new cars, that includes 16 different cameras with LiDAR and sonar. These lights are being outfitted with LED incapacitators, which is a light technology that was first announced 15 years ago, back when it caused enough brain damage to make a person sick.
Another strange weapon in the final stages of development is able to mount an all-out barrage on the optic nerve.
Well, my bad, y'all. It's it wouldn't let me hit the stop. Maybe I can't have the screen large. I don't know what's up with that. But I'm gonna finish it. I just want to stop it right there. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, Fentanyl, the communist Chinese
Hold on one
dragon
second.
here to give you stupid Americans your orders. Do not.
Aman Jabi has worked in Silicon Valley for 20.
Let me just I'm gonna just download the video, but let's see if I can do it from there. But notice what the guy said. The guy said that if you sign up for the digital system, you essentially are signing up saying that you're a criminal. Because if you think about it, the digital system world is because they don't trust you. All of this digital cybersecurity stuff is because the powers that be don't trust you with freedom. So they're putting parameters everywhere for you not to be free. So if you consent to it, you're consenting to be a criminal. And guess what? You'll always be a criminal. Like you'll always be under surveillance, under watch, under suspicion, because you're in that digital matrix, just like the movie. In the movie, the agents were able to hop into people because they were all being watched. So that means the agents had access to everybody's eyes. This is what they want in real life. I don't understand how we watched The Matrix. We loved it so much. Then when the stuff happened in real life, everybody got dumb. Everybody's showing a snake bite passport to go watch the fourth Matrix movie. And guess what? I didn't like the movie, but I do like the sentiment of it, because in the end of the Matrix movie, even though it was some feminism involved, even though it was all this stuff, the point of the movie really was for the man and the woman to come together. When the man and woman come together under God, that's how we activate these powers. Because you're only going to activate the powers when you love somebody unconditionally. Not talking about God, talking about on this earth. All of these gifts y'all think y'all finna get. I hear black folks talking about the fifth dimension. Dear black folks, y'all ain't going nowhere. Ain't no fifth dimension. What it would qualify if you ought to go to the fifth dimension, you have not done. You don't qualify to go to the fifth dimension. You don't qualify. My question is, in the fifth dimension, do you have to be righteous? Do you have to be honorable? Do you have to be forgiving? Do you have to be faithful? Do you have to be kind? Like, what are the attributes to go into the fifth dimension? I'm just asking. Because I hear black folks saying it, but the black folks out here saying it, they ain't matching up to me with fifth dimensional transportation. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can play this video from here. Let me see if it'll play from here. Is it an echo?
Aman Jabi has worked in Silicon Valley for 28 years. His background includes work on deep technologies that are involved in the new digital prison system being designed by big tech. In 2020, he moved to Montana and became a whistleblower, warning the public of the very real threat about to be unleashed upon us all, known by many as the Mark of the Beast system. Aman explains how accepting the digital ID is the basic premise behind it all.
So by default, a digital identity implies that you are always in a digital prison. Since you have a digital identity and you're in a prison, you are by default a criminal. So we don't trust you.
Just like the old car and lights in cities throughout the West, LED lights have been replaced.
Okay. Was there an echo, you all, on YouTube? Is there an echo? Is there an echo? Yeah, I think a black woman created GPS. And again, you all, listen to me. Thank you, I am Lenny B for the super sticker. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna just say this real quick. So again, they use black, and listen, you all, this is not about race. It's not about who's better, who's worse, who's inferior. I promise you all, it's not about that. Black people's gifts is influence. So they use black people to influence the world. That can be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. I'm just telling you, they always put a black face in front of these agendas to get the world to do it. It doesn't work any other way. That's why they use black folks to do it. So they're promoting black women because they're going to use black women to get all the other women to transfer their birthing rights to the Transformers. And then once the Transformers are on top, they'll be in control of, they'll have the social hierarchy, and they'll be able to have the children. So all of this, and again, to whom much is given, that much more is required. So if I give you a gift, then it means you are that much more responsible and accountable for that gift. But let's get to these LED lights.
Street lights in cities throughout the West. Aman explains that this is all part of the plan. These lights will be connected to everything, including your phone and your car. And in new cars, that includes 16 different cameras with LiDAR and sonar. These lights are being outfitted with LED incapacitators, which is a light technology that was first announced 15 years ago, back when it caused enough brain damage to make a person sick.
Another strange weapon in the final stages of development.
So, let me see. Black woman GPS. Let me see. Because GPS was the start of all of this. I don't know how old you all are. Remember MapQuest? Then you had like Google Images. We should have knew then when Google was able to see your house on Google. Her name is Gladys West, an American mathematician. Gladys West is an American mathematician known for her contribution to the mathematical modeling of the shape of the earth. and her work on the development of the satellite geodesy, not Jodeci, come and talk to me. No, satellite geodesy models that were eventually incorporated to the Global Positioning System, GPS. West was inducted into the United States Air Force Hall of Fame in 2018. West was awarded the Webby Lifetime Achievement Award at 25th Annual Webby Awards for the development of the satellite geodesy models. So she created the satellite that, was able to zoom in and look and do all the GPS stuff. So she's really the foremother, or what you would call, I guess, the architect of all of this stuff now, all of this surveillance, all of this stuff. So again, just telling you all, it's a black woman. Just telling y'all, it's a black woman. But let's continue.
Is able to mount an all-out barrage on the optic nerve.
The LED incapacitator was developed under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security for the purposes of creating what we call a non-lethal defense system. And this technology consists of a bright set of LED technology, light-emitting diodes, that is designed to create sort of temporary blindness, meaning temporary ability to not be able to see the person who we're trying to protect.
If aggressors caught in its bright pulsating glare don't shield their eyes or turn away quick enough, temporary blindness isn't the only effect they'll feel.
The first time I saw the LED, I was in a darkened room, and within 3 or 4 seconds, I had reached forward and grabbed a hold of a lab bench because I was feeling a little bit dizzy or disoriented.
The device's combination of different colors and random flashes can induce psychophysical effects, including vertigo and possible nausea. It's been nicknamed the puke light.
It's been 15 years, and our Silicon Valley whistleblower believes that this technology is now capable of killing people. Ultimately, we can say no to this.
But if there's a critical mass that doesn't sign on to the digital ID, then this agenda gets weakened substantially.
But we will have to first unify and come together. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
So, again, this stuff is not going to work unless we come together. So, if you notice, the media spends an awful lot of time with keeping us separate and divided. And the biggest one, thank you, the Ice Cold Wolf. Thank you, the Ice Cold Wolf. Yeah, y'all remember MapQuest. Yeah, the LED lights. Matter of fact, I just saw them in front of my gym. I just saw the lights, and I've been wondering why the lights have been shutting off in front of my gym like that, where it's like pitch black. But I looked today and I saw the LED lights now. Anyway, we got to unite and come together because, again, where two or more gathered, there I am also. Let's see what God says about coming together. Let's see what God says about coming together. Matthew 18:20 says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them." So this is the power of God when we come together for a righteous cause. This God is in the midst. So if we want God in the midst, then we got to come together. This has been the problem. That's why they wanted you to do what? 6 feet apart, social distance, quarantine, all this stuff. They wanted you separated because they knew if you come together, you're going to have God in the midst. And if God is in the midst, folks can see clearly. So just stay separated. They kept you away from the old people, kept you away from your friends and family, told you be afraid of these people. All that was done for a reason because they needed folks to be separate for this spell casting to take place. So the enemy, again, is very clever. The enemy is very, very clever and slick. And most of the time, we are too prideful to see these things. We think we know so much. You know, I look back 2 years ago, I didn't know anything. Each year I get older, I realize I didn't know anything the previous year. So we should constantly be learning and growing. I mean, again, you know, we got 7 years till 2030. So what we gonna do? What we gonna do? What we gonna do? I didn't want to share this, but I wanted to go to. So I'm gonna give you an example of this of some propaganda. I'm gonna take a little side note real quick, and I'm gonna hop back. No, let me go. Let me not. Let me just wait. I'll save it for the end. So now we're gonna look at Barcelona.
What is a woman?
The American dream is real.
So you can stand up for what you believe.
Okay, let me hold on. I'm sorry, you all. This is the 1992 opening ceremony for the Olympics. So I want you to look at this and tell me what you see on here. You all won't be able to see it on IG, but it's the opening ceremony. It's about 2 minutes of clips. You should be able to hear me now. I'm back on now. Y'all should be able to hear me now on YouTube. So I'm going to just play this video and tell me what you all see.
Streaming can be tricky, and sometimes trying to find the right software.
Yeah, baby.
So, I want you all to look at that. I hope you all was able to see it. And I want you all to tell me what you saw and you noticed on there. I want to tell you what I saw. So I saw like a slave ship where the folks were like on these slave ships. Then it looked like it turned into like a battleship. It could be a battleship. You know, we saw something that looked like the Peter Pandemic, the crown with the spikes. And then from out the sea, what appears to be the sea, but I'm going to assume this is your bloodstream. From out the sea comes this creature, this black-looking creature that we know is the alien octopus babies. But this was done in 1992. So this is, how many years ago was that? 30 years ago? 30 years ago? Oh. So, I think it's 30, isn't it? Yeah, about 30 years ago. Yeah, about 30 years ago, yeah. So, 30 years ago, they show this, right? Now, I told you all that the number one question the question of character is why? 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 So when they showed this ceremony, folks should have been like, what does this mean? Explain this to us. What is this? Nobody questioned it. So if you don't question it, then that means you gave consent. So back in 92, we gave consent to this, what we saw in 2020. They even did it again in 2012, right? They even did it again in 2012, and we still didn't say nothing. So in 92 and 2012, we didn't say nothing. So then they said, okay, we can do it in 2020. And they did. And so that's where we are. And you see this was back in 1992, which should let you know that all this stuff is orchestrated. It's all orchestrated. It's all planned out. It's all a setup. It's not, nothing is random, none of that. They let people tell you the truth so that you have a chance to say no. When the truth gets revealed, it's for you to say no. It's just that simple. Because they got to give you an opportunity, got to give you a chance. Right, Walter. Thank you for the super sticker. Walter Walker was like, what in the world was I watching? Exactly, because you see, these people are fighting this creature. This creature that emerges out of what we see as the water, you know, and then they're on the ship and we see they're fighting this creature. But we see around them, circling around them, is this crown with spikes around it, circling around them. Thank you, baby, for life. That's 20 years between the two events. That's 20 years between the two events. That's the 18 between the 92 and 2000. No. Yeah, 18 to the 2012. Is that 18? No. That's 28 years. It's 20 from 92 to 2012. 2012 to 2020 is 8 years. So it's like 28 years, I think, total. Maybe my math might be off. But I think that's right though. Yeah. So 20 and then 8. But again, someone said to avoid the karma pot. And so they won't be liable if they show you this stuff and you just accept it. This is why I tell people that silence means consent. That means you can't sit there and just let something happen in front of you and say, oh, I'm above it, I'm more important. No, you got to reject it. I reject it. Oh, between the Olympics. Okay, I got you. I got you. Between the Olympics, I got you. Let me just play this. I'm going to play without the sound, though. But as we see on here, though, this looks like water. You know, you see the horns coming up behind the ship. That could be symbolic. I don't know. Satan, maybe. I don't know. You see a crane. You see the ship moving. They were rowing the rows on the ship. You see the ship treading through the water, which appears to be water, but you see something emerge from the water. You see looks like knives or scalpels. You see that crown, that Peter Pandemic with the knives around it or scalpels around it. You know, you see that thing fighting the people on the ship. You see this creature fighting the folks on the ship. See some other creatures floating up around the creature. But again, this is all for 2020. And they use this to get consent. You see that Peter Pandemic swinging around, and you see it's covered with dead bodies. You see them fighting that black octopus thing, and then you see the death. You see death walking with the birds with the skull faces. You see the death walking. So this is a very turbulent fight. This is a fight to the end. We can see this right here. Looks like the slaves or the humanity versus this thing, this beast. I don't know what it is, you know. But anyway, then you see something that's in like a hood climbing to the top of this crane. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it's Barcelona Olympics, yeah. But anyway, yeah, so, and it happened in 2012, same thing in 2012. But again, so let's go to some of the folks running the show. Let's go to the folks running the show. And again, you notice that they call it the opening ceremony, right? But think about it from a practical sense. Think about it as an actual opening up ceremony, meaning they're opening you up to receive this. So it's an opening ceremony. They're opening the person up to receive it. So you know that at the beginning of all these festivals and these events, everybody's attention is given to the beginning of the event. So they use the beginning of the event to do it. So when they call it an opening ceremony, I believe it's a opening up. You're opening yourself up because you're all like this. You got your eye gates open. You got your ear gates open. And you got all your energy opened up. So you opened up ready to receive what they're giving you. This is how this stuff works so well. Because they mask this stuff with entertaining us. This is why God says you got to be of the world. Not be of the world. So you don't even get caught off guard with this madness. You got to be in the world, but not of it. Because when you're of the world, this stuff, it still has a hold on Imagine everything we've gone through the last almost 3 years, and folks is still trying to party like it never happened. Just think about this now. After everything we done seen over the past almost 3 years, folks is still trying to party like it didn't happen. That's decadence. That's debauchery. That's Sodom and Gomorrah. That's Babylon. For us to sit here and still want to party after everything we've been through, these folks done told us we couldn't do this, we couldn't do that, put this in your body, don't do. They done put all kind of crazy stuff in front of us, and folks are still saying, but I still want to party. I'm seeing folks pictures of them out, and nobody was even like, it's not even a packed place. I'm like, y'all still trying to hold. The whole energy of the place is dead. It's gone. I'm seeing it. The whole energy of I'm seeing videos. The whole energy is gone. Y'all ain't even having fun. Y'all just going to go. Y'all just going to go. Because there's no way y'all are going to these places and enjoying yourself. There's no way. These folks is jabbed up, zombies. There's no way y'all are going out in 2023 and enjoying yourself. These folks are literal zombies. Think about it. These folks ain't talking about nothing. They believe everything on TV, everything on. You can't talk to these people. They go for everything. My goodness. No critical thought. Y'all ain't having fun. It's impossible. I'm watching the videos. The whole energy is not even there. Like, I'm watching it. Nobody's really enjoying. Nobody's really happy. It's like y'all going through the motions. So this video talks about the people's champions. And again, I'm going to say this. If they show you something on that TV screen, it's not real. So if they make you believe that Klaus Schwab, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Greta Thunberg, Fauci, Biden, Putin, all them, they're not really in charge. If they're showing them to you, they're not in charge. This is all about illusion, to get you to fall into delusion, to give your consent. You know, you see the illusion, you live in delusion, and then you give your consent. Because now all of your actions are based on a lie. Right, girls ain't even dancing no more. The girls ain't even dancing. Like, I'm looking at these, I'm like, Bishop Don Juan, and I even put up, I got the video saved on here. Bishop Don Juan tried to pop the champagne, and when I tell you the champagne didn't even pop, even the champagne bottle was like, man, this ain't the same. Even the champagne bottle wouldn't even pop. 2019, that thing was shot like a bullet, hit somebody in the eye. 2023, he tried to pop that bottle, and that thing was like this. That thing just, I'm telling y'all. 2023 is the start of our tribulation. We gonna act like it is. Because they said by 2030, you gonna own nothing and be happy. So we got a timetable. Let me play this video.
True. If you happen to see the rulers, the controllers, the kings, the princes, the dukes in the media, that means in magazines and newspapers and in encyclopedias and so forth and history books and on TV, chances are they are not the architects of the programs and the policies that they are instigating. They are just what I refer to as the people's champions. They're just what I refer to in the book as overworld figures. With very few exceptions, they are not the architects of doom. But just for now, know that if you see them on, the fact that you just see them on television, or the fact that you see them in the common media, they're lower henchmen. Never forget that. It'll empower you to know that, because they are not the henchmen. They're power, drugged, sick, perverted, toxic individuals who serve powers behind the scenes. There's no reason in the world to fear them. As a general rule of thumb, it's not 100% true.
You heard he said there's no reason to fear them because, again, they're an illusion. They're an illusion. So against all these people, they're not really pulling strings. They're just a hand, but there's a wrist, an arm, a shoulder, a chest, a torso, a head, and all behind them. Somebody said, who is the architect? That's a great question. Who is the architect? We know who the architect is. It's easy to find because God is not the author of confusion. Then who is? Satan. Satan is the architect. Satan is always going to use a deceptive trick because he can't really do it. Satan can't make you do anything. Satan can't do nothing to you. And we got to start speaking better too. We got to start speaking these things into existence. We got to start speaking. In 2023, we are going to start speaking better. We're not going to say, I feel sick. I don't feel. We're not going to do that no more. I don't care how terrible you feel. Say, I feel great. I feel wonderful. I'm blessed. I don't care if you keel over the bed throwing up. Say, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. We got to change the way we talk. We talk too defeated. You're not sick. You're not unhealthy. None of that stuff. We are healthy, wealthy, and heaven bound. We healthy, we wealthy, and we heaven bound.
Who you think runs the world. Who actually runs the world. Who you think runs the world. Who actually runs the world. Who you.
So as you can see, it's a whole list of families that are above the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. That's what they put in front of us. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Vanguard, BlackRock, Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, all those are smoke screens. You know, in The Wizard of Oz, if you go back and watch The Wizard of Oz, look who discovered who the wizard was. It wasn't the Scarecrow. It wasn't the Tin Man. It wasn't the Lion. It wasn't Dorothy. Who discovered the wizard? It was the most purest of them all. The dog. You know why Toto was the most purest? Because he didn't want anything. Dorothy wanted to go home. The Scarecrow wanted a brain. The Tin Man wanted a heart. The Lion wanted courage. But Toto didn't want anything. So if Toto didn't want anything, then all Toto cared about was what? The truth. You see how that works? If Toto doesn't want anything, he don't want a heart, he don't want a brain, he don't want to go home. He don't want courage. If he don't want those things, all he's going to want is what? The truth. all he really was going to want is what? God. This is why Toto discovered who the wizard was. Pure at heart. He didn't want nothing. So if he's pure at heart, he's going to find what? He's going to find God because he's going to find the truth. So Toto runs over there. Now they all mystified and scared at the wizard, all the smoke screens and all the stuff, the fire, all the loud voice. And Toto runs right behind the curtain and pulls it out. Now if you go back and watch the movie, he pulls the curtain back and nobody notices. The wizard doesn't notice and they don't notice. So the show was still going on and Toto was like, y'all still... And then finally, the jig is up. They realized, he said, don't mind the man behind the curtain, all that stuff. So, but again, we got to be like Toto. We got to not want. See, when we don't want, what does the Bible say? The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. You see, when we don't want, then God can give you all you need and what you want and then give you everything. But anyway, we gotta be pure heart. Let me continue.
It is better if I share a clip of Santos Bonacci speaking about the elite bloodlines and how far back they really go.
The Rothschilds come from the Orsini family. Roth means red in German, and the Orsini means red bear, little red bears. That's what Orsini means. The Grey Pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white Pope.
The Grey Pope is even higher than the black and the white Pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They are on top. And somehow they've trumped the Colonna and the Farnese, which I know without any doubt through all my studies that they are the three most powerful Illuminati families.
What about Rothschild and Rockefeller?
Well, they are Orsini. They just changed their name. Rockefeller were Rothschilds. Rothschilds were Orsini. Orsini were a family which have their bloodlines in Babylon and Egypt. They tell you that. You read their biographies. They'll tell you that. We go back to...
It is better if I share a clip of Santos Bonacci speaking about the elite bloodlines and how far back they really go.
The Rothschilds come from the Orsini family.
So we have the Orsini family, and they say their bloodline goes back to Babylon and Egypt. So we can only imagine, again, where those bloodlines actually go to. So we start getting into the Nephilim territory, Anunnaki territory, and then eventually, we go to fallen angels, and eventually we go to Satan. The House of Orsini is an Italian noble family that was one of the most influential princely families in medieval Italy and Renaissance Rome. Members of the Orsini family include 5 popes: Stephen II, Paul I, Celestine III, Nicholas III, and Benedict VIII. In addition, the family included 34 cardinals, numerous condottieri, and other significant and political religious figures. So we can see that the Orsini family is the Pope bloodline family. Thank you, Alex. They said this is from the Tinfoil Hat podcast with Sam Tripoli. Okay, so we can check this out when you all have time. Yeah. But so he said the Orsini family is the most powerful family. So everything else is a smokescreen that they put in front of us. We have this family that says their bloodline goes back to Babylon, ancient Egypt. That means Satan. A lot of people, black folks, want to worship ancient Egypt. I'm like, ancient Egypt is wicked though. I don't know who. I don't know where this nostalgia comes from with all this ancient stuff, and these folks is wicked. They just wicked. They worship false. Like they would sacrifice like this. And honestly, I don't think it was false God. I think they were just worshiping fallen angels and angels mixed with humans. Like they was worshiping, abominations. But just this whole nostalgia with the ancient Egypt is just mesmerizing my mind. I'm like, y'all know what these folks was even doing? Y'all putting all your hopes and dreams on three pyramids y'all see. On the Sphinx, 3 pyramids, some pharaohs, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's continue.
Roth means red in German, and the Orsini means red bear, little red bears. That's what Orsini means. The grey pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white pope.
The gray pope is even higher than the black and the white pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They
So let me try to go back and try to find these, because you all probably want some of these names, right? Let me go back to get these names for you.
Think runs the world. Who actually runs the world? Who you think runs the world?
I'm gonna give you all the families.
Who actually runs the world?
Nimrod, they tell you that.
Okay, so we have obviously the first family is the main family is the Orsini family. That's the main family, O-R-S-I-N-I family. Then we have the Farnese family, that is F-A-R-N-E-S-E. Then we have the Aldo Brandini family. Let me try to, I wrote it real quick. Yes. Aldo Brandini, that's A-L-D-O-B-R-A-N-D-I-N-I. Then we have the Medici family, M-E-D-I-C-I. Then we have the Colonna family, that is C-O-L-O-N-N-A. And then obviously we have the Orsini, which is the O-R-S-I-N-I. That's the main family. And honestly, I believe that they're probably all one family, just broken up to make you think that they're different entities to cause confusion, but they're probably all the same family. Let's continue.
That. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to Nimrod. How? Through the Orsinis. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
And what is the name of the top family?
Orsini would be on top now because they're called the Maxima.
The Maxima. The Orsini.
Then I would say under them would have to be the Collins, the Colonna, the Columbus families. or enterprise. I think it's an enterprise. I don't think they're even really families. They're just, it's the funds. It's the Venetian funds that they created. It's where all the money power is. And then the Farneses. Some people say the Farneses are the most powerful that have researched, because they actually created the Tuscan Empire. They created the 12 founding cities of the Etruscan Empire, which the Romans supposedly destroyed. But the theory is that they went down to Rome and created that as well. Top Nimrod, they tell you that. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to...
So if you guys go and look at a picture of what they say an Anunnaki is, and then go look at the picture of Nimrod, and they look just alike. They're going to show you Nimrod, and then they're going to show you, you'll see Nimrod. If I type in Nimrod right now, you know, we type in Nimrod, and we see images of Nimrod, and then they always make him look huge. And then we go to the Anunnaki, then we go to the Anunnaki, and yeah, they look the same. You know, some of them have like animal heads. Some of them have like, you know, part man or part whatever and beast, but they look like Nimrod. So I've always thought that Nimrod was an Anunnaki. But yeah, let me play this one more time.
Nimrod. How? Through the Orsinis. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
And what is the name of the top family?
Orsini would be on top now because they're called the Maxima.
The Maxima. The Orsini.
Then I would say under them would have to be the Collins, the Colonna, the Columbus families, or enterprise. I think it's an enterprise. I don't think they're even really families. They're just, it's the funds. It's the Venetian funds that they created. It's where all the money power is. And then the Farneses. Some people say the Farneses are the most powerful that have researched, because they actually created the Tuscan Empire. They created the 12 founding cities of the Etruscan Empire, which the Romans supposedly destroyed. But the theory is that they went down to Rome and created that as well. Top Nimrod, they tell you that. Of the Jesuits.
So this guy is talking about the highest, what you call bloodline family, and he's talking about the Orsini family. That is the family that has all the popes and all the Roman Catholic, the cardinals and all that stuff. That's where they come from. Then I believe the rest of these families are just branches off of the main bloodline families. But to me, I believe this all links back to Satan's bloodline. They said it goes back to ancient Egypt and Babylon and Persia. So this literally probably goes back to the Nephilim, to the Anunnaki, to the fallen angels, and eventually to Satan. You know, so this is what we're dealing with. And the Bible tells us that, let me read Tribulation in a second. You know, this is what the Bible tells us. And this is how I know that racism is a psyop. Because what does God say? God says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. This scripture has absolutely nothing to do with race. This scripture is so far beyond race. To even focus on race, it would be an insult to God. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood. That means that our fight is not against each other. Our fight isn't even against a person that we don't even get along with. Our fight is even not with a person that we consider an enemy. Our fight is against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So this manner of fight we have is way above skin color. It is so far beyond skin color. And I try to tell people this, that when climate change comes, they're not going to say that black folks get to go outside because the sun is too hot and white folks got to stay in the house. They're going to say, can't nobody go nowhere. You're going to see that all this racism stuff was used to keep y'all separated till when the last moment, when you realize it's time to fight, you're not going to be able to. All this racism narrative was done for a time such as this, because they knew when they pull this stunt now in this modern times, the only way it works is for the people to be separated because there's too much information. So the only way to do it is to create this fake civil war to get us going against each other. The only way this is going to work is if we come together. Somebody said that, thank you so much for the super sticker, Walter. Everybody talks about the return of the Messiah, Jesus coming back to save the people. So can somebody find a scripture where it says that Christ is coming back to save the people? Can someone find a scripture where it says that Christ is going to return to save the people? Because I want to know what the Bible says about Christ's return. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. I'm reading through scriptures. I'm just trying to figure out where it says that Christ is coming back to save somebody. So yeah, so anyway, so what people do is they say that believers are waiting on a savior to come back to save them. That's not accurate according to the scriptures. When Christ comes back, it ain't gonna be no saving. When Christ comes back, it ain't gonna be no saving. Either you the chosen people because you chose to be chose, or you not. So the coming back is not to save nobody. The coming back is to bring about justice. The coming back is to bring about justice. This, my son, is what it will be like when I come to take my bride home. In an instant, my bride will vanish from the earth as it will be caught up to meet me in the air at the last trumpet. So again, I want y'all to pay attention. Pay attention. Meeting me in the air, right, means Christ is returning. And as Christ is returning, we going to be in the air to meet him. That means he ain't going to turn around and go back to heaven. Okay, let me say it again. Christ is coming down. He's not coming to play any games, right? So he's coming down. We're going to meet him in the air. He's still coming down, though. Does that make sense? Like, nobody's getting saved. He just coming to collect the reward. He just coming to collect. He ain't saving nobody because the saving time is gonna be over with. You ain't finna get there will be no saving during that time. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess, because guess what? Ain't no more, the game is over. Every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess, because you ain't gonna have a choice. The game is over. So again, this notion that people wait on the Savior is just foolish. Christ ain't coming to save nobody. He coming to collect. And after he collect, y'all meet me in the air. Now it's time for judgment. So guess what? That ain't no rapture. Because you're gonna see all the stuff going on. Y'all thinking I'm a rapture up. I'm gonna be in the Bahamas chilling on the beach, kicking, eating conch fritters, and drinking my little rum, coconut rum. Now you gonna meet Christ in the air, and then it's game time. And then it's game time. What time is it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because now it's gonna be justice. Now it's gonna be justice time. But yeah, ain't no coming to save nothing. We coming to collect. He coming to collect what's old. His children are old to him. He coming to get them. Ain't no saving. Either you're gonna be part of the one. Either I'm gonna go through the. Now listen now. We done all been to the club, and they pull that list out, and they say, "What's your name?" You on that list. You say such and such. If you ain't on the list, try to be slick and be like, look on the list, say, there you go, I'm John Wick. You see a name not checked off, you say, I'm John Wick. But for the most part, though, that list determines whether or not you get to get in the club. Here goes the beauty of it, right? That list, to get into the club, you get in the club free with that list. The list is to get in the club free. So look how beautiful it is. You get to walk up, cut the line, name on the list, and walk right in. Hassle free. That's the beauty of the list. So when Christ come back, he going to have a list. Just like the club, he'll have a list. So there ain't going to be no velvet ropes. It's going to be ropes of fire. It's going to be chariots of fire, brimstone. And listen to me now. You look on that list, boy. You better hope you're on that list. Because you ain't on that list. If you ain't on that list, it's game over. It's game over. You talking about fire and brimstone. We talking about death and destruction and damnation. We talking about weeping and gnashing of the teeth. We talking about going from partying. You was just partying. I mean, just having a good time. You was literally making love in the club. Imagine people being in the club. I'm talking about it's just the decadence and debauchery. By that time, it's going to be little children. Listen, hold on. Now, by that time, it's going to be children in there. It's going to be aborted fetuses. It's going to be all kind of, it's going to be so wicked and demonic and perverse. Folks, it's going to be so wicked and demonic and perverse. And folks going to be fulfilling every single lustful desire imaginable. Not having a care in the world. Then they're going to hear that trumpet. Then they're going to hear that trumpet. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Because when you hear that trumpet, you know what it is. I don't care what people say about, I don't believe this, I don't believe in that. When you hear that trumpet, you're going to know what it is. I said, when you hear that trumpet, you're going to know what it is. I can guarantee that. I don't want to read the Bible. It's going to be funny how folks ain't going to have read a Bible or looked at the Bible in years. But when they hear that trumpet, all of a sudden now, the scriptures come back into their mind.
Welcome to Pop Shelf, with seasonal and decor shopping and home essentials.
During the 70s.
Hold on. It's gonna be a trumpet sound, y'all.
The music written by Miles.
It's gonna be a trumpet. No, not that kind of trumpet. It ain't gonna be Miles Davis. I want to find a trumpet sound, y'all. I want to find a real trumpet where you know it's. I want a heavenly trumpet. We can't even imitate the sound. It's going to be a heavenly trumpet. Nah, it ain't going to be no Kenny G. Listen, it ain't going to be Miles Davis, Kenny G. Listen, when folks hear this trumpet, they going to know it's God. I was looking for, I can't find no trumpet sound. I'm trying to find great trumpet. No, this ain't going to. No, these trumpet sounds ain't going to work. Nah, it ain't gonna be that. That trumpet sound gonna pierce your soul, cause you gonna hear that burr. You gonna hear that burr. I don't know what it's gonna sound like, but you gonna hear the trumpet sound. And those that's ready, it's gonna sound like a sweet trumpet sound. But for most of the folks that ain't, boy, it's gonna sound like death and destruction and damnation. Folks gonna run outside and see what it is. And they gonna know. Folks gonna run outside, hear that trumpet, they gonna look up in the sky to try to see what it is, because they gonna know. They gonna know. Let me see. I just want to go to Saul. Now, this is Acts 9, verse 3. And as he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly there shined round about him a light from heaven. And he fell onto the earth and heard a voice saying unto him, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus whom thou persecutest. Is it hard for thee to kick against the pricks? So, again, like when the trumpet, when Saul heard that voice, he knew it was God. Now think about this now. He running around here killing believers, but when he hear the voice, he know it's God, which means the whole time he's doing this, he know it's real. The whole time Saul is doing all this wicked and evil stuff, he knows God is real. He know the Messiah is real. He knows it's real. This is what I mean by decadence. These people know this stuff is real. They know God is real. They know the Bible is true, but they want to be decadent. I just saw an influencer put some New Year's pictures up, and this guy is very respected. And I saw his girlfriend or his wife, whoever she is, and I'm like, it don't match. You see, I can always listen to a person. And when I hear folks say, oh, I don't like the Bible is this, all that, I look at their life and I already know it's decadence. When folks reject that Bible, I already know it's decadence. I know it. Because that Bible is telling you can't be decadent. All them other books say you can be decadent. The Bible says you can't be decadent. The Bible says you gotta love your neighbor as yourself. You gotta pray. You gotta fast. The Bible gets you upset, man. I ain't trying to do all this stuff. So I can already tell that when a person say I don't like the Bible, they decadent. I already know it. I know they are decadent. If I keep peeling back the layers, I'm gonna see some decadence. But Saul got knocked to the ground. He done fell on the ground, looked up, talking about, Lord, is that you? which means he knew the whole time, which means he did it on purpose. Now you see why it's going to be fire and brimstone in the last days, because it's going to be deserved. Folks are going to deserve it. You're going to deserve it. It ain't that folks don't think God is real. Folks don't want to do it. You're going to deserve it. So when them fire and brimstone talk about missiles and nukes, you ain't seen nothing to that like that fire and brimstone. The missiles, yeah, they, bullets, the lasers, nah, heat beam, no. Fire and brimstone coming down, ain't no defense for it. Ain't no shield, ain't no tank, ain't no bunker, ain't no base, none of that. So this is why it's going to be justified, though. Because folks know. Folks know good and well what's going on. Folks know good and well that God is real. Folks know good and well that the Messiah is real. They know it's real. And because they know it's real, they reject it. Because the worst fear they have is looking in that mirror and seeing the Messiah. Looking in that mirror and seeing Christ. That's their worst fear. You know why? Because if they look in that mirror and see Jesus, guess what that means? I got to change my life. If they look in that mirror and see Jesus, see Yeshua, see Emmanuel, if they look in the mirror and see it, they know they got to change their life. So what they do is they do everything so they don't see Christ. They do this drug, they get into this act, they join this thing, they do all this stuff so they don't see Christ. Because the moment they see Christ, they know they got to be accountable. This is what folks is doing. This is what folks is doing. That's right, Cole. Even the demons know he real. Even the demons know. Let's continue.
Everybody else comes under their command. They are the military.
And who's the top again one more time? Of the Jesuits?
Orsini.
The Orsini.
The Pentagon is owned by the Farnese family, though.
Oh my God! Somebody owns the Pentagon.
Well, if you look at the mansion of the Farneses in Rome, it is Pentagon shape, and they wanted that shape for the Pentagon. So,
which is a pentagram.
Yes.
Right? Which is satanic.
It's a pentagon. A pentagram has spikes. The Pentagon has the spikes.
But you could fit a pentagram inside the Pentagon.
That's right. Yeah. Exactly. Good one. Yeah. And that's from the Farneses. The Colonna family, they own stuff like California, New York, the stock exchange. But the military, the Farnese really run. The Jesuits are the military. They run the US military.
So this is how all this stuff will be ushered in, is because they have us fighting and we think there's actually sides, but there are only two sides. It's just good and evil. It's only two sides. It's either good, it ain't mashed potatoes, it ain't string beans, it ain't French fries, it ain't fried okra, it ain't cabbage, it ain't rice, it ain't corn, it ain't spinach, it ain't greens, it ain't dressing. It's just two sides. It's either good or it's evil. This ain't no buffet. You see, with the devil, it's a buffet. You can have everything. Look, you eat all this. I remember last year, I went to 2 all-you-can-eats last year. I went to one Southern home cooking one. I went to Golden Corral. I went into these places, and my spirit told me, you shouldn't even eat here. But I was being disobedient. I went there anyway, and my appetite was spoiled both times. I'm looking at the people walking around, going to them, and I said, I ain't supposed to, this is decadence. I watched the buffet, and I looked, and I said, this is decadence. It's decadence. Now, if we prepare a feast for our loved ones and family, we come together and gather, yeah, that's different. But that buffet, the whole intention of the buffet is to go and be decadent and greedy. It ain't about fellowship. It ain't about it's just going to eat. It's a low vibrational event. I'm going to eat. I'm not going to learn, to edify. I'm just going to eat. I went to two. I went to the Southern one. I went to Golden Corral. Golden Corral was worse because the food wasn't even good, and the people, I looking around, they all looking, just decadence. It's decadence. It's decadence. Let me go to climate change. Now, you know, right now we can talk about climate change, but you know soon you won't be able to, because now we're going to translate what this guy is saying. And you know, wisdom is a principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get understanding. Now, we can remember anything, these people have to tell us the truth. So, they got to tell us the truth. They have to tell us the truth because they have to give us a choice. Again, if they don't give us a choice, then we can't be judged for the actions. Does that make sense? If they don't give us a choice, then we can't be judged for the action because you didn't give me a choice. It has to be a choice present. So what they do is they go through great lengths to give us choices. They do this. Think about it. In 1992, they were showing us a Peter pandemic. They give us years to prepare for this stuff. And I honestly believe some of these folks actually hope we're going to do something about it. I believe that some of these people actually hope we really raise up and fight. These folks tired of it too. Could you imagine growing up in a demonic devil family? Could you imagine growing up in the Bloodline family? Could you imagine this wickedness? They get tired of it too. Right. God wouldn't be just if the people didn't know the truth. I see you, Irita. Give me 1 second. I see you. Thank you so much. Let me play this real quick. So I'm going to play it first, but it's in German, Instagram. It's in German, so you're not going to be able to understand it unless you speak German. But you all can read the subtitles on YouTube. I'm going to play it first, then I'm going to come back and go over it.
Wandels seien Maßnahmen nötig, so, und dann jetzt wörtlich, die analog zu den Einschränkungen der persönlichen Freiheit in der Pandemiebekämpfung sein. Wie haben Sie das denn gemeint?
Also ich kann ja jetzt beispielsweise weniger reisen, weil also die Reisebegrenzungen notwendig sind, damit wir nicht das Virus von einer Region, wo hohe Prävalenz ist, in eine andere Region übertragen. Ich muss auf viele Dinge verzichten, die ich gerne machen würde, weil es schädlich wäre für die öffentliche Gesundheit. Ich glaube, dass wir bestimmte Beschränkungen akzeptieren müssen, wollen wir den Klimawandel beherrschen. Dazu wird zum Beispiel gehören, dass wir nicht so viel reisen, wie jeder reisen könnte. Ich würde es übrigens auch noch nicht mal für ausgeschlossen halten, dass wir in der Klimakrise in eine Situation kommen, wo wir das eine oder andere tatsächlich sogar verbieten müssen.
Aber das ist doch genau das, was manche Kritiker jetzt befürchten, dass die Einschränkungen, die in der Corona-Pandemie benutzt werden als Blaupause für sowas, ich sage es in Anführungszeichen, wie eine Klimadiktatur.
Ja, aber das sind doch Verschwörungstheorien.
Wieso? Sie haben doch gerade erzählt, dass die Corona-Maßnahmen Vorbild sein sollen und müssen für die noch viel größere Klimakatastrophe. Bewältigung des Klimawandels seien Maßnahmen nötig, so, und dann jetzt wörtlich, die analog zu den Einschränkungen
So, he says the measures and personal freedom restrictions needed to contain the Peter pandemic are also needed for climate change policy. So the guy you're seeing is I guess the German health minister. And he's saying that basically what we did with the Peter pandemic, we should do with climate change. This is what he's saying. He's saying basically the Peter pandemic model is the model for climate change. So I want you to think for a second. Sorry about that, IG. I got a phone call. Sorry about that, IG. Anyway, so basically, imagine these people telling you that you can't go out, so you can't travel more than 3 miles from your house, or you can't be outside for more than X amount of hours, or you can't leave your house. So just imagine the links they're going to take with climate change, because climate change is literally endless and infinite. Anything could be considered climate change. Like they can make anything climate change, and you got to stay in the house. You can't do this, you can't do that. Now, many people are going to fall for it. Listen, I talk to educated people with sense. I talk to folks that even are red pill and they still believe this climate change madness. And I'm like, dude, it's not. I said, if climate change was real, if it was really real, the solution wouldn't be for you and I not to have any rights. How is the solution for climate change? How is the solution for the climate changing you and I staying at home, locked down in our house for months? It's insanity. So let's continue. So the guy says, I am less able to travel because we need travel restrictions. So we won't bring back a Peter scamdemic from other regions of the world where there are more infections. A lot of things I enjoy doing, I cannot do at the moment because it's a public health threat. So again, we know at the moment means forever. So we know that when they say at the moment, temporarily, momentarily, for a time, that means forever. You've never seen the government take away something, any kind of freedom, liberty, and give it back. They never give it back. So you know that whether you believe in climate change or not, if you consent to it, you will not have any rights. If you consent to climate change, you will not have any rights. None. Because they're going to say that you are the problem. You are the threat to the planet. So how do we fix it? Oh, I got it. You just be on lockdown. But meanwhile, all the elites get to travel to and fro because the elites will be walking around saying, we're not emitting any carbon. Remember the one guy said he puts his mask on, take a picture and doesn't breathe, and then puts his mask back on to breathe. And folks is like, he's so smart. It's stupid. It's foolishness. It's dumb. Let's continue. I think we need certain restrictions to contain climate change. So again, how does it make sense for you to be locked in your house to make climate change go away? It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense. I need you all to stay in the house for 30 days so the climate can get back right. Listen to me. You all are fools if you do this. That means less travel is a part of it as well. I cannot even rule out that during the climate crisis. We could end up in a situation where we would have to prohibit certain things. So prohibiting certain things means everything you enjoy doing, you won't be able to do it anymore. Then the guy says, but this is exactly what critics are afraid of. That the current Peter pandemic measures are being used as a blueprint to introduce climate dictatorship. And then the guy's response is, oh, but those are conspiracy theories. Listen. This man just said, I want to use the same model we use with the Peter pandemic with climate. He just said this. The guy tells him that's what folks are afraid of. His response is, oh, but those are conspiracy theories. And then the guy says, how? You just said that the Peter pandemic measures should be used as an example for the even bigger climate catastrophe. Like the dude, like, you know how? You just said it. This is what I mean. They're telling you to your face, we're going to take away every freedom and right you have. And then when you say, that's horrible, they say, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. We're going to take away all of your rights, all of your freedoms tomorrow. And we say, wait a minute, that means we'll be slaves. Oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Thank you, Arita, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. People say he looked evil. He just looked soulless. Like, you know, this is decadence though. It's decadence. So again, it's really up to the people, you know. It's up to us. And then of course, this same guy claims that people wanted to kidnap him over the Peter pandemic measures. He claims he's a victim. People want to kidnap him. Nobody want to kidnap this man. Nobody. Right. Who made these people spokespersons for the world? Diamone Whammer. Is it Whammer? Diamone Whammer said people don't associate climate change with food sources. I bet if you replace climate change with barbecue chicken wings, black people will listen. You know what's sad? You know what's sad about this? What's sad is all the language that's used, because it's so specific, black folks are kind of left out of the loop. Because they don't hear words like racism and white supremacy, and they don't hear, you know, white man, and they don't hear these terms, that they tune out climate change, digital passport, digital ID. It's almost like, you know, it's like it's like second grade, and black folks still in kindergarten. Like, it's sad that this propaganda works so well on black people. But and the real problem with all of this, is anybody a good writer? Because I have Katie, she needs a good writer to put some documents together. Anybody on there? Is anybody a good writer in here? Is anybody a good writer? We have Katie, the truth. If you're a good writer, please, I guess DM Katie. Katie _ truther. She needs a good writer. So if y'all can write, DM Katie. But climate change is going to be a nail in the coffin, because climate change is basically saying that you're the problem. Like, it's funny because they've been going throughout history, and we finally get to the end of this fight where they say you the problem. You existing is the problem, you know. Any of y'all have any questions? I'll probably come back on maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Probably Wednesday. Anybody have any questions before I go? I'll continue my New Year's talk on Wednesday, probably. But anyway, I love you all, and I thank you all for tuning in. And I really want us to look at 23 and beyond as our tribulation. I'm not telling you to do it in a fearful way or to be afraid. I'm saying it for us to be better. I'm saying it for us to take these times serious. Like, we don't have time to waste. This time is important. So everything we're doing needs to be towards us being prepared and getting ready. And then also getting closer to God. So this is what 2023 should entail. This should be an uncomfortable year for us. We should be growing, stretching, learning. This should be a year that we going to become way better than we were in 2022. That's going to take growth. That's going to take growth. So the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Article 19 says everyone has the right. Hold on, let's go to 18. Hold on. Let's go to 17. I might go through this one day. Let's go to 17. Article 17, show you the book. Article 17, now again, This ain't civil rights. This is human rights. This is for human beings existing on the planet. Everyone has the right to own property alone as well as in association with others. So owning nothing and being happy goes against your human rights. For them to even say it, you'll own nothing and be happy, is against your human rights. It's actually a threatening gesture, a terroristic threat, actually. Article 17, number 2, no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his property. So you can't even be deprived of that means you can't be deprived of property. So, Article 18, everyone has the right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes freedom to change his religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, worship, and observance. So, Article 17, we have the right to own property, and we can't even be deprived property. Forget own it, we can't even be deprived it. And Article 18, we have the freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, and that's the right to change religion or belief, and freedom, either alone or in community with others, and in public or private, to manifest his religion or belief in teaching, practice, and worship and observance. So most of the plans they have is to get you to give up these human rights. This is what they're trying to do, to get you to give up these human rights. I ain't talking about women's rights, children's rights, trans rights, gay rights, animal rights. Those ain't these. Those aren't these. Human rights. Article 19 says everyone has the right to freedom of opinion and expression. This right includes freedom to hold opinions without interference and to seek, receive, and impart information and ideas through any media and regardless of frontiers. So that means YouTube should take away both of my strikes. Instagram should unshadow ban and unblock my page because it is against my human rights. This is the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Universal Declaration of Human Rights. You can order this book. Hashtag stand up for human rights. So what they're going to get people to do is they're going to get people to give up their human rights to implement this great reset. That's the whole trick, is to get you to give up your human rights. You got human rights. Listen, I love you all. I'm going to start with this scripture right here. Tribulation. Hold on. Revelations 20, verse 4, verse 5, and verse 6. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in his first resurrection. On such the second death have no power. But they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. This is Revelations. But this is talking about those that did not get the mark. They didn't worship the image of they didn't worship the beast. They didn't worship the beast. They didn't have his image. They didn't worship the beast, nor the image. They didn't receive the mark upon their foreheads or their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. So we can see that a lot of folks gonna get this. They're gonna worship the beast and they're gonna get the mark. Anyway, I love y'all and I hope y'all will be blessed. I want y'all to be blessed. And I'll be back on Wednesday to finish this tribulation up. I thank y'all and y'all have a great night. Oh yeah, and happy pre-New Year, you know, because the New Year is in the springtime. So this is happy Matrix New Year. The real New Year is in the spring. I love y'all. Thank you.